Whatever you're funny, Peacock's got it exclusively. Bears beats The Office on Peacock. Stream every moment from Dunder Mifflin and explore bonus extras and exclusives. Plus, if you're looking for more classic hits, you can stream every episode of Parks and Recreation, 2.5 Men, and every season of SNL. In the mood for something brand new? Check out Peacock's original comedies, The Amber Ruffin Show, and Saved by the Bell. Whether you're craving a new binge or familiar fave, you can find tons of comedy hits on Peacock. Get started for free at peacocktv.com.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Jennie Walker, and welcome to Closet Conversations. Today I want to talk to you about the brand new video feature on Poshmark. This is a new listing feature that has just come out in the last few days, and it's basically the stories feature, but on your listing. And so I've been trying it out. I want to tell you about it. So this new video feature allows you 15 seconds to show your item in the flesh, so to speak, to show it in person, to show it on a video. You can talk in the video as well or not, which will give you a chance to say things that, you know, have inflection, be excited about it, and just tell a little bit more about the item that, you know, is in support of the listing. And so I've been trying it out, and I've used it on a number of items, and people have started sharing those videos. So what I learned is that what I did was I put it on a couple listings, but what I didn't realize is that I put it on some listings and I just held them in the draft, and suddenly people were sharing my stories. I'm like, why are they sharing this story when my listing is in a draft? And then when I realized is that your video, the 15 seconds that you add to your listing, is also one of your stories. So it's double duty, double purposed. And so the story's going to get out even if you hit draft and you're not ready to put your listing up. So when that happened, I was like, oh no, there's a story out there. My listing's not up. It's still in draft. And so I ran and I hurriedly pushed them all up there, and I said, ask me for measurements and all, just the most minimal information on it so that I could go back when I have time and fill it in like I normally would. So that's one thing I've learned, is that it's going to create a story. So if you put it, even though your listing's not up, so be aware of that, because I just found out. In some of my stories, I've put hashtags, and others I didn't, and I have no idea yet if someone's going to be able to find my stories via hashtags. I haven't learned that much about it, but, you know, it could be one of these things where these stories may eventually be something that could be searched on Google, and if that's the case, then having the appropriate hashtag is going to make sense, because perhaps they'll be able to find it via your story, 15-second video versus just the listing. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be an interesting next step for Poshmark to do. What I thought was really interesting is that already a number of these items that I've just posted this day, making this recording, already have a likes on them, where perhaps they might not have if I hadn't have done the video. I will never know, but that's, you know, more exposure through the stories. And I have noticed that my stories have been shared by people on Poshmark, and one person basically shared a bunch of my stories. So I think what happened is that one story kind of rolls into the next, right? And so they just shared each one with their followers. And one of the people who shared had like 32,000 followers, and the other person who shared one of the stories had like 190-something followers. So that's really great exposure, if indeed someone saw it. Who knows? I don't know if anyone saw it, but it got out there and it got shared, and so it's just extra exposure. And to me, it was super simple. It was just like adding an additional photo. And so I put my item on my mannequin, and I shot all the photos in the normal order I would, and in the last one, I put the video. And in one, I did a trial, and I put the video not in the last spot, but before the last spot. And then I went back, added another photo. But once the listing went live, that video dropped to the bottom. So in terms of the order, it does not look as if you can place it as first. Wouldn't that be great to have a video first and be able to order it in your feed? That does not look like it's possible yet. or possible at all. Who knows what they'll do, but that would be really interesting is if, you know, on your listings you started getting those videos, because all those major websites, I was on one today, it was either Neiman Marcus or Balmain, one of those where like you went onto the web page and boom, there's a video, there's movement, right? And there was a time when that was really kind of startling. Like you'd be going on the website and you'll go to the site, next thing you know, there's like video coming at you, you know. But now we're more used to that. So yeah, it's a terrific feature. I've not sold anything because of the video, but I did have someone put one of the items in a bundle. We've already been talking about prices, and she's like, I just think this is such a great vintage dress. And so I don't know. We've gone back and forth on that. So haven't sold anything yet because of it, but it is super easy to do. I'm just adding it in as the last photo in my listing and letting the system do what it will with that information, you know. Is that going to get me more followers? Is that going to get me more views? Is it going to get me more exposure? In theory, yes. Will it make the listing more dynamic? In theory, yes. So one of the things, I haven't actually done it myself, but after I did a number of drafts with the video, I realized on the audio, I could also be including, you know, catch me on Instagram at Jennie Girl's Closet. You know, you could, you know, check out my website at JennieGirlsCloset.com. Like there's this additional information that you can add if you want in that short little clip. And so I realized that this is really, really powerful. And so it gives you an opportunity to give some history. So one of the Moschino pieces that I put up today, it has the clouds motif, which is iconic. I mean, they've literally done it twice, and then a third time was a collaboration, and now the fourth time the clouds are coming out this coming fall in the new fall collection. So this will be the fourth time that the clouds, these blue and white clouds, which is a iconic design for Moschino. And so I mentioned that in the listing, and I don't know if it makes any difference to anybody, but I don't know how they're listening. And so I've not actually watched anyone else's video. I've only been doing my own. I think it's such a new feature. It's going to be a minute before I look at something and find that video at the bottom. And perhaps Poshmark will eventually let that video be something that could be pinned at the top, or there's some other way that you can know that there's a video without scrolling to the bottom, because then you're basically saying no one's going to know there's a video or see a video unless they get to all of the pictures in a listing, and that might not always be the case. I know I don't always scroll to the end to see the video, but great to know it's there. I think early adoption is a super great idea for people. It's easy to use. It's more exposure. It's certainly something that Poshmark will know you are doing, because obviously they're going to be tracking how many people use this feature. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. So to me, it makes zero sense now to do a story without just it being part of your listing. I mean, we could do these stories separately, but they don't make any sense now. So to me, it's all about having the video in the listing and have it related to that listing. I think it's fantastic. So one of the things I thought about doing in one of my listings coming up is that I have this beautiful red plaid Moschino jacket, wool plaid, and it has this beautiful heart embroidery on the back, and it's listed in my closet. But I recently got the matching skirt, brand new with tags, beautiful pleated mini skirt with this giant heart in the front. So I think what I'm going to do is when I list it on Poshmark, the skirt, because I'll list them separately, is I will in the video show the matching jacket with the skirt as a way to basically use the feature to be like, hey, we also have the matching jacket. Look how amazing this is. So that's something I'll be doing very shortly. So if you want to look out for that, I will be putting that on my Poshmark store. So, yeah, Poshmark is really ramping up new features. I love that they are now operating in Australia, and they've made that known, and they're operating in the UK now, and they're really expanding internationally. And even though we don't have the cross-border yet, we know that's coming. And so what I've been doing is I finally hit 1,800 listings in my closet, and it seems to be some sort of threshold, because I'm finding I'm getting many more sales once I got that number in there. And my hope is that my goal is to reach 2,000, which it's not a lack of inventory, believe it or not, it's just a lack of me getting it done, is when I hit 2,000, I'm going to be really happy. But it's also going to prepare me for when the borders do open, the shopping borders between countries. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be completely ready for people from Canada and Australia and the UK to come see what I have for sale, and hopefully it'll be set up where they can buy it. In the meantime, having more listings and having more inventory from people to choose from certainly brings more eyeballs to my closet, and that's really important. I am on track to hit 100,000 in sales this year, and it's going to be coming up soon. And when that happens, I'm going to be like, do the happy dance. But I'll be certain to do a special video on that. That's definitely going to happen this year based on what I see is trending. And my hope is with stimulus checks coming out in the United States that a lot of people who've been waiting to buy things will finally, do it, because that's all part of what the stimulus money is for, is you're supposed to consume it and put it out into the world and let it be free, which is basically my history of money. Let it fly free into the world, and I've done that so many times, shopping myself, finding wonderful things to buy. So my hope is that people will come to my closet and spend some of that stimulus money, and I will be ready because I've got 1,800 listings and continue to list more. And as a sidebar, I have been listing more vintage. I've been invited to do some vintage shows, and I realized that because I came from a cold climate in the East Coast here into California to do a vintage show in California, everything I have is wool and it's black. And so it's velvet. I have tons of black velvet, black wool, black everything. And talking to the people who do the shows is they are really looking for things that are colorful because they sell better, and things that are larger sizes, and, California friendly clothes, because the people buying in the vintage store, in the vintage shows, tend to buy to wear, in this area. And I'm realizing I just don't have the inventory. So I've been buying really unique 60s and 70s vintage lately. And you can definitely check it out in my closet, but it's my way of trying to adapt to getting into the vintage shows and having the right inventory for it, because that's not a good place for Zara. So anyway, and yeah, once I have the video on each thing, I can say, hey, it's going to be in a vintage show, or hey, check this out on Instagram, or, just tell a little more about it, maybe talk about the flaws if there are any, and hopefully there aren't, maybe talk about the history, just be more engaging. Now, I did do this without music because copyright strikes, but I'm just doing it with my speaking and my speaking voice. Might be cool to add music. I don't know. I did that on the few stories that I did for Poshmark, but I haven't done music. I'm just keeping it my speaking voice, and seems to be working. So, yeah, I totally recommend you hit that video feature. Now, really all it is when you're creating your listing, it just says photo/video now. So once you're ready to do a video, when you hit the button at the bottom, you change from photo to video, and you have to hit that button, and then you have your 15-second video. When it's up, it just shuts off. Like, it stops at 15 seconds, so you don't have to worry about going over. You can add text to it. You can add hashtags to it. And you can say cute things if you want, just like you would an Instagram story or anything like that. So at this point, there's no feeding that story into Instagram that I'm aware of, but that would be a really cool feature for them to do, is let us to be able to share that. Then we would be hashtagging it up, and I would be, sending it to Instagram. That would be totally cool. So we'll see what happens with that. But I highly recommend you check out the video feature just as soon as possible. It's a great new thing, and it's really easy to incorporate. I felt like this stories feature, I was never going to do a story. I'm like, this is too much work. I don't want to create a story. It just seemed like it was disconnected, but this video feature connected to the listings, I think is fantastic, and it's a no-brainer because it's already being photographed. You just click video and show a little more about it, give it in 3D. So, and that's it. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. So definitely check out Poshmark's new video feature in the listings. If you want to see some, if you go to my closet, you go under new listings under Jennie Girl's Closet. And on Poshmark, I'm at Jennie Girl's Claws. That's JennieGirlsCLOS. And you go under newly listed, you can see several of my items that I have the video on. You can check it out for yourself. And that's it. I hope you heard. If you like it and you're listening on Apple iTunes or any other of the platforms for podcasting, definitely give it 5 stars, a rating, a thumbs up. If you're listening on YouTube, share it, like it, subscribe. All of that helps get the word out. If you want to be in touch with me, definitely check me out on Instagram. My on social media company and myself, we look at every message that comes through. That's at Jennie Girl's Closet on Instagram. And I look forward to having you with me on a future episode.
What do you want to da-da-da? What do y'all want to da-da-da? I have no idea what to da-da-da. We could switch to Progressa da. Oh, yeah? We could switch to Progressa and sa. Okay. We could sa and have to buy some za. Oh, yeah. Let's switch to Progressa da and get some za with the money we saw. Yeah. Now we know we're gonna da-da-da.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. It might just be the most normal thing you da-da-da.
Quote da at Progressa.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This week at Macy's, save big on fresh spring arrivals. Like 20 to 50% off updates for him and her. And 20 to 30% off women's shoes and sandals. Plus, get ready for your holiday with all new cutlery from J.A. Henckels and more. Now 40% off. And Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. More at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.